Okay, so what is that human stress response? What's happening in our body? You'll really want to pay attention to this because this is the one that's going to make you say, I think I want to start managing my stress from now on. Here's what happens. The amygdala, which is a part of the brain at the base of the brain, alerts the hypothalamus. Danger, danger, we're in trouble. The hypothalamus then sends a message to the adrenal glands to flood the body with two things. One is adrenaline, formerly called norepinephrine, and the other is cortisol. Now that's the one you're going to remember. Cortisol, see it right there? Cortisol is the bully on the block. Cortisol gets in the body and dominates, comes in and upsets the balance of those 120 hormones I was talking about earlier. So it's a very dangerous thing because what happens if we continue with chronic stress is this cortisol flooding continues and it keeps hammering away at the arteries, especially the larger arteries around our heart. Over time, it develops lesions in our heart. Now, depending upon what we eat, what do you think is going to fill up those lesions? And it starts, two words, starts with F and P, fat and plaque. So if we're one of these junk food type eaters, we're pouring a lot of fat and a lot of plaque in there. And if we're dealing with ongoing chronic stress and that cortisol continues to hammer away and create these lesions in our arteries, and then our arteries fill up with fat and plaque, guess what happens? One day we have a cardiovascular incident. Maybe it's an aneurysm, maybe it's a heart attack. It could be any number of things, but we get compromised. That's simply because so much cortisol has continued to flood the body while we've been under chronic stress. This is very important, folks, because a lot of people think, well, I feel okay, I think I'm okay, but isn't stress just a regular part of life? I guess I just have to deal with it. Well, that's true if the way you deal with it is managing it properly, because if you don't, it's going to keep flooding. See, when we had that fight or flight response, the cortisol floods our body. It's supposed to, because that helps us lift heavier, punch harder, throw farther, run faster, so that we can fight or flee. But that, remember, is only for acute stress. The problem is the human brain does not recognize the difference between acute and chronic stress. It just sees it as stress. And so the amygdala sends the message to the hypothalamus, the adrenal glands flood the body with cortisol, and if you're living with ongoing chronic stress, that's not stopping. That's what's important to remember here. And that's what continues to cause us problems. So whereas this prepares the body for fight or flight to help us get out of harm's way, if we don't manage stress, it continues after that to harm us. So cortisol is a bully on the block. Too much of it can damage us, take years off of our lives, even, I hate to use the word, end our life. I'll call it that.